Hey everybody, so pushed LUNES back to today because, really want to address some of the absolute backlash going on and just the madness with speaking up, speaking out, and more stuff coming out about that. And, really thought we were done with it by last weekend. Honestly thought that, it was disappointing finding out some of the people that have been involved. Kind of shocking about others. And I could address individuals one by one, name by name, but the fact that there is a huge list, and it's still growing. Not even the sympathizers or the deniers, but just the original offenders themselves. And then you have different levels and layers of that, which is so upsetting. But that'll come up later in the video. To take your mind off of it and jump to LUNES Macho Monday and give you a little bit of a giggle there, because once again that glitch happened, the recording glitch. I don't know if it's, I go over a certain time limit, it spazzes out. I was actually keeping my recording devices rather cold, so thought that was all done. But anyway, jump to that if you want to. If you don't want to, jump into the conversation. It is LUNES Macho Monday. Ian Torch here, and the line has been drawn in the sand, people. The line has been drawn in the sand, people. And a lot of big shockers to happen. First off, the women's match for the title had to be canceled because Jasmine Allure actually broke several of her fingers. We do hope she has a speedy recovery and a safe recovery. But with the current environment, someone will clearly make a joke like, oh, she was probably having a fight off some handsy asshole somewhere. First off, you can go to hell. And second off, unfortunately, that might be true with a lot of stuff that happened this past weekend, and hopefully that's the last we have to deal with that. As in just the flood. Hopefully that's getting taken care of. But anyway, on to the show. The new powerhouse Aaron Atlas flexed his muscles against Zach Taylor and ended up getting one over on him. It's his raw strength getting the job done, but that doesn't mean the guy doesn't have talent underneath the surface or an athletic background, because if you've seen the guy, clearly he knows what a push-up and a crunch are. Then we had Michael Arrow come in and face off against Vega Del Rio and just get one over on the Cannonball. This, of course, has irritated the Cannonball, and he's steadily getting angrier and angrier and about ready to turn AAPW into his own personal china shop. Then there was the tag team lunacy of Eli and his rather unique tag partner against Ace Seidel and Manny Domingo. Of course, Ace and Manny, the high-flying hooligans themselves, the defending tag champs, retained their titles until the end of the show, it seems, as footage was leaked that after the show, Eli and his buddy decided to alleviate the champs of their titles because it clearly was a burden, and, something about the Amish wanting to help their fellow men and, take the burden for them, whatever. It's turned AAPW on its side for sure. And who knows what kind of antics are going to happen next show. Then there was a gauntlet. And that gauntlet was to lead to the AAPW title shot against the defending AAPW champion, or whoever beat him. But within that gauntlet, we had Austin James, who has been working his ass off with practically one leg to get back into the mix, to get back into the scene, to get some respect. So it was him and Grayson Knox to start things off. Austin actually knocked Knox off to face off against Leroy Brown. And they went at it for a while until Austin James was taken out by bad Leroy Brown, who would go on to face the Pinfall Wizard. And if anyone could test Leroy Brown, it would be Steve Areno. But Leroy would become victorious with that, to be surprised by Dill Dempsey returning to AAPW. However, the Realtor of Reality got his own reality check as Leroy Brown would take that number one contendership spot. And due to a very strange stipulation and contractual obligation, unfortunately, El Rayo, who had unified the America title, the World Heavyweight title of AAPW, and the social media title, was incapable of defending the social media title while also having to face off against his challenger, Insane. So the former champion, Rob the Builder, was allowed to defend the social media title against Benjamin Greenback. And if you know anything about Benjamin Greenback, well, wrestler isn't at the top of that list. He is very noticeable within the managing community. He knows how to pick him, that's for sure. But to see him in a ring is a very, very strange occurrence. It's like watching Ricky Starks win a spelling bee. Highly unlikely. But when it happens, you know you just lost $500. And speaking of $500, Greenback took the belt via a rumored payoff. More will be going into that. There's apparently an investigation going on. They'll be looking into the footage. Did something happen behind the scenes? Was something promised afterwards? We're looking into that, people. So Benjamin Greenback is now the social media champion. And I cannot wait to see what he has to brag and boast about on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and then some. This guy's been everywhere. But then El Rayo had to defend his belt, the AAPW title, against Insane. So that's the former Lucha Legion going up against each other in quite a chaotic match. But El Rayo did retain. But Insane, once again proving why he earned that moniker. But let's not forget, the main event was a serious challenge between Christopher Black and T-Ray. Which, behind the scenes stretch match finally came to a head. And I don't think they're quite done just yet. But you know what else isn't done? This show. Why? Because I got to get my matches out for you people. And it is, in fact. Yeah, that's right. Live from the fairgrounds. Now the Battle Royale. The winner of this match will face the ladies champion at the ladies' night. Ooh. I mean, it's a wrestling match, so let's just keep it at that. So yeah, we'll just keep it as a wrestling match. Oh, that's... Well, I mean, no matter what, that's our sponsor, so... Oh, God. Did Tony Tone Deaf get involved in this? Ooh. Heel face tweener right off the bat. There we go. You know what? Let's get the former champs in there as well. There we go. Do I have any more faces? Like, this is crazy. There we go. Sweet Jane. That was unfortunately creepy. Ooh, yes. There we go. Mix it all up. Alright. And now for women's tag match. The enhancer, I love it. Oh, okay, cool, yeah.
Tag team feud.
That should make things interesting. Yes, we're debuting. There we go. Desert Storm versus the Sky Diamonds. I'm liking that already. Alright. Let's see here. Who's going to play the game? No, let's get the game through that way. She can attack Parker King. There we go. Alright. There we go. Get all that set up. Yeah! We got the overnight taking on Max contract. This one's going to be... What is it going to be? Oh, yeah! Last man standing. If they had like 2 out of 3 falls, that could make things interesting, but they don't. The skit now. On the rocks. On the rocks. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah, maybe she talks to Richie about this. Say Richie B. Yeah, and this is social media because of that. Alright. Yeah, and this is the big bad one y'all were waiting for. Hearst versus Monstro. Does Hearst need Europa by his side? No, he's going to display open power tonight. A Monster will do a clink. And actually, this will be last man standing. This will be... Oh, yes! Of course. Yeah. Let's start the show. Alright, folks, our Battle Royale is starting. The winner of this will get a shot at the champions tonight, the ladies' night. Oh, they're going at it, folks. Nothing is being held back. Good God. These ladies aren't stopping. Oh, we're for Slay Nation. That was great. Oh, God. Back and forth chops everywhere, and the kicks are coming too. Good God, folks. Who's going to be victorious in this? Oh, there goes Puzzle Bell. Back and forth. Oh! Another elimination. And another elimination. But I'm defending out right our last 6, our last 5. Oh, and both Girl Power still in there. Oh, Starrush will take out her own tag partner. Girl Power is... Oh! Here we go. Carolina Starter, Mother Mercy. The last 2 in the ring. Who's it going to be? It's her! Take it out with no mercy. We honestly thought she had the advantage. Here we go for the tag match. Our inaugural tag champions. Who is going to be the women's tag champion heading into the night? Fast, swift tags. Good work by both teams. It is night and day for styles, though. And the Sky Diamonds. Get it fun. And speaking of bad tag teams, Dan and Sweet Jane making sure everyone knows who the hell they are. And now it's time to move some furniture around. I was surprised they were going to put tabs in here. But man, they're not letting up. And now it's all chaos, folks. But who is going to win? Who is going to be the tag champion by the end of the night? Oh! With the poster on for Max contract, take the belt! Be Brandy and Giro! What are these two planning? And here we go, last man standing. First versus Monstro. The ripping and tearing is happening. And with Russian interference. And there, 8, 9, 10, Monstro gets it! And now the main event, Mother Mercy versus Rico Roughneck. The chick does have a slight advantage, she's fresh, and lands that ground and pound quite easy. But you cannot say Mother Mercy didn't put in a good fight tonight. Mother Mercy's outlasted all the other participants to win the Battle Royal. Destiny has her opponent wants in place. Destiny's calling, ring the bell! And with that, they are the tag team champions of the women's division. He probably gets into the lane, might slide around and Sweet Jane, which is quite shocking. So we just stack those chairs, tables, and ladders in a structure we've never seen before. Whoa, Massive Game just got destroyed. This one is over. The Swift is injured in the process, but that's the risk these competitors will take trying to get a gold. Oh, was that a nice conversation between Brett and Richie B? This leads to good things. So the epic battle, this has been Jacob versus Hogan down and out. Let's see Monstro made it to his feet. It looks like, yes, he's done it. He's won the match. Ring the bell. 3 of the 9 down opponent, and there she goes, that ground and pound. Ring the bell. Well, that is it for another LUNES Macho Monday. Want you to remember to like, share, and subscribe. Read that bell, stay notified. And hopefully, things will calm down later this week. So, for me, this started well before the huge, I guess you'd call it exodus at this point. We're still kind of bracing for impact because the BLM movement and the marches hadn't completely wrapped up yet. This was quite a few weeks ago. So I'm still trying to adjust all that. And through a talent that I'll just call Bry for right now, he's not the offender, he's actually the whistleblower in this particular scenario, but Bry brought it to our attention that someone within the Texas circuit was an offender. And not even like a mistaken identity kind of thing or a fake ID kind of thing. Like they knew. They knew good and well. They had all the details, all the information in front of them, and they still went ahead with it. They still decided to pursue this individual that was underage, and what really hurt me when finding out about this was who it was. It was one of my trainers. And an individual that was there for a good portion of my training. In fact, he was there at my graduation. And I thought was my greatest test that night at my gauntlet, and I can't say that anymore. I can't. It's like saying that Mein Kampf is a good read. And I know someone's going to take me out of context with that, but I don't care. So I found out about this particular individual and wasn't sure if it was a rumor. Wasn't really able to pursue it the way others are. Just wouldn't even know where to start. And then the floodgates opened, and screenshots, and legit valid, boom, subject A, subject B, subject C, and it just kept coming, and we came to the realization that, yeah, they're a fucking monster. I mean, did they get what they wanted? No. Thankfully, they didn't. Are they getting what they deserve? I mean, I would say so. And so after Bribe did that, I wasn't trying to Pontius Pilate it and just wash my hands of the scenario, but thought, oh, wow, it's just something else to worry about. And thought we were done with that, like that chapter had closed. And then more came out. And I mean, unfortunately, in the independent scene of anything, since there's not an official governing body at the top, It's all small little groups that have to police themselves. Oversee themselves? Yeah. I'm going to say oversee for a good while. But yeah, they oversee themselves and they try to keep everything in line that way. And you'd think it was under enough control. I mean, in a perfect world, it wouldn't be a problem, but if it was a problem, at least it could be taken care of quickly. Like, I've got colleagues in the wrestling business that are, they used to drink. And if they have a moment where they think they're going to slip, they've got a tree. They've got a tree of people they can get a hold of. Like, hey man, I'm not feeling too good tonight. Boom, hey, strike up a conversation about the matches. You know what? Why don't you come over? Let's watch some tape. You know what? I'm in the mood for skee ball tonight. You want to do some skee ball with me? Where there isn't any booze. You have that. But this not so much. And you get a lot of boys will be boys in that mindset, and that's even more upsetting. And it started to go further and further out. It was no longer just, a Southwest thing. It wasn't just a Southern Texas wrestling thing, or just a Southern region thing. It started going coast to coast. There were more stories, more people speaking up and speaking out, and plenty of validation. And it got bad. So you found out that, oh yeah, there's some big names that have a nasty little habit from back in the day. And it started wearing me down. And it started wearing a lot of people down. But it's getting addressed. So there is that.